Antiquity Unveiled, the most marvelous revelations of the 19th century concerning the origin of Christianity, by Jonathan Manning Roberts. And did we say who the soothsayer was? Because obviously we should give some. 2 years, the abridged edition. Okay. Anyways, M. Servillius, Nonianus, Roman consul and historian. I salute you, sir. All the Christians that ever lived or ever will live will find their ideal Jesus but a phantom, a myth. Well, a myth does not mean any less or more physically true than anything else. See, this implies he doesn't know his own Greek, he doesn't know Latin or Greek. Or the biblical context of the word myth. They can chase it as a child would a butterfly through a meadow on a summer's afternoon, and it will elude their grasp. The Christian Jesus is nothing more than the Krishna of the Hindus, the Baal or Bel of the Babylonians, the Apollo of the Greeks, and Roma or Romulus of the Romans, modified in form and ceremonies, suited to modern superstition. All this I have learned in spirit life through the desire to be historically correct. When here, I was a historian. As a spirit, my inclinations led me the same way. All the kings and princes of ancient times were worshipped at the same time the Christian Savior was to be on the earth. Now I am here to tell you the truth. There were no Christians nor Christianity in the time of Nero, from 45 to 68. We know nothing of such a religion, nor was it in existence at that time. And as far as physical evidence of even Pauline Christianity, that seems to be true. We knew nothing of such a religion, nor was it in existence at that time. And I want it expressly understood that I was a historian at that time, gathering all the facts I could. If there had been the slightest evidence of it, I would have acknowledged it. But in my day, nobody knew anything of the Christian Savior, nor his apostles. There were two religions in the time of Nero that held supremacy. One was the sons, the other the Son. Son with a U, Son with an O. You may ask me, what was the difference between them? I answer, the first was the sun worshipped in a material sense, and the second was the same solar orb, spiritually or symbolically worshipped in the Ahanian of Zoroaster of Persia, which, of course, we have well established was not really a worshipper of anything other than God, but things have attached onto that weren't part of his path. These were, and they never worshipped, they gave thanks for the good objects, but worshipping the sun and various other things weren't part of their thing. They never worshipped Agni, or the fire, and, well, Atar, anyways, Atar. These were the predominant religions, and all the priests understood them, as I have stated. My name was M. Servillius Nonianus. I lived from about 50 to 70 of the Common Era. And, yeah, if they're against Christianity, I'm going to give myself the Christian date, not any other system of dating, but the Christian date. And I'm going to make some false accusations and stuff. Oh, it's, of course, don't worry, I'm being accurate. And I'm not giving my first name. Well, I mean, I'm not giving the full, the full, why not? Um, I'll leave it as an M. It's like people didn't talk about that. What, M for Muhammad? At what? Well, we know it's not Muhammad, but refer to Smith's Dictionary of Greek and Roman biography for an account of Nonianus. Nothing whatever is said in the biography of his historical works, from which we may infer that they shared the fate of the labors of other historians who lived and wrote at the time when it was said Jesus and his apostles were creating such a sensation in the world. That this communication is genuine, we cannot doubt from the circumstances in which it was given. Here is another spirit who must have known of Jesus and his doings, of what is related of him was in any respect true, who comes back and positively denies that there was any such person prior to 60 of the Common Era as Jesus Christ, or Jesus the Christ, or Jesus of Nazareth, or the Nazarene, or the Savior of men, or as any apostles who taught the religion of such a being. And, a whole lot of truth to that. But we also can say, what if the Bible's correct in that Paul's churches were just small gatherings? If it was a building, if it was a movement that had several people in several different cities, maybe even less than 100, or maybe even less than 1,000 or 10,000 or something, why, in the presence of millions, would it be necessary to list all these groups? Not every village religion that even dominated a village has passed down to us in history. So what could be said for smaller faiths like Christianity that, just started out a whole lot smaller than we think it started out? Oh, the church in such and such house. Oh, you mean such and such woman prepared food for the guest in her house, and they held a spiritual meeting there, and they went to, and they knew there were one or two places like this in this country, and then in another country there would be a couple other places where they could do that, and that's a whole lot different than what we typically presume about the origins of Christianity. But the Persians, everything Persian that was going on had basically shifted its way back into the so-called Zoroastrianism. But Zoroaster refused to be considered a founder of a religion. He refused to be, he didn't want worshipped. He didn't want all these other so-called gods and goddesses worshipped and whatnot. He just wanted God worshipped. But pretty much every prophet that ever was, even if his movement shifted into ignominy, and even if we have a preserved text about their teachings, the general public, or even the people that say to be followers, have a significant misunderstanding of what the religion is, even when there is no conflict.